Nostalgia T. Alex says, tell some stories. Guys, what do you want to hear a story about? Let's just do some story time. Let me see. Storyteller time. Stories about Felicity. Wow. Felicity stories. Do I have any good stories about Felicity? Ordinarily, yeah. Well, there was this the first official girlfriend I ever had. Her name was Felicity, actually. And it was when I was quite young. Like, I was, how old are you at that age? Maybe 11? Yeah, totally pimping. Yeah. Seriously, we have like a whole lineage of children together before we broke up by age 13. I got on that ASAP. When we started dating, that age is like the weirdest age ever. Like the 6th, 7th, 8th grade, that zone. I don't know, I feel like when you hit high school, it's totally different. I mean, I went to an all-guys high school, so guys don't really like, who do you have a crush on? Because the girl's not even there. I could be making her up. I could be like, yeah, I have a girlfriend. She lives by my house. And people would be like, all right, cool, I'm never going to see her, so I don't care, right? Actually, that was very good for me to go to an all-guys high school, so I didn't have to, like, worry about any of those things, like relationships or various other interruptions to video games. But it was so funny when it was in, like, 7th grade, because people would be like, who do you have a crush on? Who do you like? And you know what the answer never was? It was never nobody. No, I don't know. I just don't really like someone. You know, I'm not really into anyone right now. No one says that in 7th grade. You always have an answer. And when you don't have an answer, that's the first thing you do. You're like, well, my heart got broken. I guess I like Felicity Jones. Screw Felicity Smith, who shattered my heart into 2 pieces. I'm going to go for Felicity Jones. And everyone's like, who do you have a crush on? What does her name begin with? And I'm like, I can't tell you that. That betrays too much information. And they're like, come on, just one letter. And you're like, it begins with F, all right? You go, is it Felicity? And you know what you never do? You never go, no. You go, don't tell her. Come on, lie, all right? Come on, lie. If you care that much about it, man up, 7th grader. I mean, seriously, come on. What's with your unreasonable devotion to truth in that situation? How, like, if you go up to any 7th grader right now, seriously, go to a 7th grader and say, hey, who do you like? First of all, you'll probably get arrested because it's weird. But if you say, who do you like? And say you're friends in some way, and you just start naming people, Melissa, Jesse, Kelly, Tara, Bailey, you just start listing all of them off, and eventually he'll just go, no, until you hit Felicity, and then he'll go, huh? He'll make I used to do that. I used to make a noise that sounded like no, because I couldn't say no. I can't do that. And there's actually, I actually don't believe in lying in a general sense, right? I don't believe in that. But if someone came up to me and said, hey, who do you like? I'd be like, fuck off. I'm in a ladder game. Why didn't I do that in 7th grade? If someone said, hey, who do you have a crush on? I'd be like, I don't talk about my crushes. Why didn't I do that? I don't know. But I just went, yeah. No. And then you know what happens? You know what happens in 7th grade? After everyone knows each other's crushes, you know what the next step is? Blackmail. Yeah, that's right. I haven't experienced blackmail for 8 years because I'm in the adult world where everyone I work with all day is actually really reasonable and nice when it comes down to it. Maybe I'm spoiled because I work in esports and actually like all the people I interact with, but In 7th grade, people were real nasty, weren't they? They were little shitty people. You like Felicity? Help me with my math homework or I'll tell her that you have a crush on her. No, I'll do all your homework. I'll cheat on the test. Oh, I'll cheat. I'll cheat for you. Why do you do that? I have no clue. Just, come on. Come on. Just tell her. Tell Felicity. Tell her. And then you know what happens? You know what happens? Here's the truest thing ever. Everything I'm telling you basically is true. Her name actually wasn't Felicity. You know, her name was fucking Felicity for the purpose of this story. I'm just gonna lie to you. Her name was Felicity. And there was all this like, Sean, dude, help me on this project. Dude, if you get picked by John on the football team and don't give me the spot, I'm telling Felicity. And then you know what happened? I found out that Felicity had a crush on me as well. And you know how we started dating? I told one of my friends who told one of her friends to ask her if she'd date me. She corresponded with her friend who passed this message to my friend who delivered the final yes to me, where I became happy and never spoke to Felicity again. Right? It's too scary. You're dating now. There's pressure. We were on the same bus. And I would be like, well, do we sit next to each other on the bus now? I don't know what we do. What do we do? Do we like talk to each other? Because that's the way crushes actually work when you're in 7th grade. Why do you like her? I don't know. I have no idea. It's like, I almost feel like crushes in 7th grade are a lot like getting a job as an assassin, where someone just hands you an envelope and you peel it open and you pull it out and it's like, who is she? And your hormones are like, it's better if you don't know. And you're like, all right, I like her. And then all of a sudden we're dating. What do we do? So you know what we did? Nothing. And then she told her friend to tell my friend to tell one of my closer inner friends that we were over. And you know what happened? I got upset. Isn't that stupid? The girl who I don't know, who I've never talked to, who now that we're dating, I still don't talk to, and even if I got the chance to speak to her, I would have no idea what to say or what to do, because I don't even know if she plays StarCraft, which I actually still played in 7th grade. Oh, why was I so upset? And you know what I did? You know what I did? In 7th grade, when dumped and miserable and sad, I wrote a poem. Like I'm Edgar Allan Mope. Just sitting there, I'm just creative expression. I wrote a poem down, and I don't even remember it because it was so bad. It was like a limerick, you know, like there once was a boy named Sean who cried all night long. Felicity took his heart with a book and bashed it into the shape of a pawn because it rhymed, and I couldn't think of a way to fit the last stanza in. Oh, God, it was the dumbest thing ever. And then you know what happened on Monday? She asked me back out again via a series of you know, various tertiary messengers. And we ended up getting back together for another fairly silent week. And that was a hard week. Because every time I saw her, I would be filled with so much adrenaline. So she put a note in my locker telling me that we were done. Chip Tooth story. You got it, name seeker. Once upon a time, I was 6 and my brother was 8. Or maybe it was 7 and 9. We were young. I don't know. Most of my childhood's a little fuzzy. It was like 2 decades ago. So, my grandpa rules. He still kicks ass. He kicked a lot of ass when I was 6, right? So we would play this really fun game in our backyard. Because in Kansas City, it's a big space. It's like a full acre of property at the house. So we went into the backyard, really big and spacious. And Nick and I would lie down on the ground. And my grandfather would take a soccer ball and he would just punt it up into the air. And we would hope that it didn't hit us while we were lying on the ground. That's the game. Because these are the sort of games that you play. It doesn't really have a win condition. It's just inherently awesome gameplay. So, I guess it's like The Sims or one of those other sandbox games. Now, you might say, do you roll out of the way? Is it you trying to dodge the ball? No, it's a game about hoping. It's like playing roulette, except with your actual body. So he punts it up in the air, and we're just lying down. And we're like, ha, 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 bam, ha, ha. That was close. So I'm playing, and he kicks it up really high, and you know it's like if you looked up, we were looking right at the sun because Nick and I were not very smart kids. We were looking at the sun as the soccer ball passed through it, and it was one of those really cool cinematic-esque, you know, where there's like a little black dot and it's all you can see. It was so high up. Even the sound started to mute out because it was so bright, this little mini eclipse. And then it comes sailing down and just hits Nick right on the stomach. And if that moment in life were a comic book frame and they needed to write letters for the sound, I think it would be a thwack, is the way I would describe a hard leather soccer ball hitting the bare stomach of an 8-year-old boy. A nice hearty thwack. I mean, So we kept playing. You know, we give the ball back to Grandpa, and again, and it comes down, and I see it coming and going, ha, 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 and it just hits me right in the face, right? So my teeth like, I like bit down really hard. And again, I guess it would be sort of like a thudge because the whole soccer ball enveloped my face as it ricocheted off with pieces of my teeth attached to it. So I think that was when we stopped playing, because we go back inside, and this always happened when Nick and I would play with Grandpa. We'd go back inside where my mom would be talking to my grandma, and we'd come in with these injuries that were, I guess I'd say, not done by natural causes. You know, it wasn't like the air was dry and I got a little bit of an itch, so it was a little red. Nick came in with like this circle here, like he was doing his impersonation of the Target logo. This huge round red thing, and I am missing pieces of tooth, and my mouth is bleeding. And Mom said, "What were you doing?" And we're like, playing a game. Like, what kind of game? It's like, you wouldn't understand, Mom. It doesn't have a win condition. It's about the gameplay. It's a sandbox game. Yeah. And I think it's time. I think it's time for me to try to redeem myself, guys. And you know what? I will pass on a piece of wisdom to you that my grandfather said. He said, the most important thing to do in life is laugh. To laugh a lot. Not to be the funniest, but to just laugh as much as you can. Don't even look for a reason to laugh. Just laugh a lot. Decide to laugh. When someone makes an attempt to be funny and they get like 60% there, just laugh. And when you get in the habit of that, then your brain starts filling in the other 40% that they didn't quite nail. Just laugh. Laugh a lot. So when I was like, "Grandpa, you broke my face," he was like, "Ha ha 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 ha. Ah, my grandson is going to be permanently deformed. He will definitely pay a high price at the circus." Ha 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 ha. Okay. Alright, guys. It's time for the 100K in 10 minutes challenge. Alright. Ready, set,